Shalom, family. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah, our Father, and Yahusha, the Mashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. This is Brother David coming to you again with an announcement. Behold, the King cometh, and he's coming very, very soon. Can't you see it? Last week, I created a video with a prophecy. The prophecy spoke of Tyrus. In that land today, there's a mass exodus happening. Please watch Al Jazeera so that you will know what's happening overseas. They're leaving because the economy has failed. The people don't have bread, water, they don't have electricity, they have none of the modern conveniences that we enjoy today. The Father has stripped it away from him, just like he said he would in the prophecy. Prepare yourself, for the King cometh, and he's coming in the cloud. But we have a problem. We had someone on the comment board said that the king that's going to come is going to be David. King David? Well, how do we find out whether it's King David or Yahusha? We have to investigate. Let's begin. Isaiah chapter 29, verses 11 to 12. Verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. All of you, which men delivered to one that is learned, saying, could you read this for me, please? And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. I don't understand. At least he told you the truth. Verse 12. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, could you read this for me, please? And he said, I am not learned. Both parties has told you the truth. But these people on YouTube, this book is sealed for them. They are the learned and the unlearned. But yet, they do not understand this book. The reason that the Most High has brought you to this channel is for one reason and one reason only. To learn how to decipher and to understand the book that is sealed. Remember, you are reading a translation. So what is the first thing you must do? You have to be like a Berean. As soon as you hear it, you go and investigate it. How long will it take you? Could take a few years. Are you ready for that? Then it tells you after your investigation, how do you study in the first place? This book is clear, line by line, precept by precept. Here a little, there a little. How do you validate what you have just studied? Out of the mouth of 2 and 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Hey, that word study, Brother David, what does it mean? Well, the book tells you you have to study to show yourself approved, the workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Study is tearing apart this book. It is not reading. It is tearing apart this book. Every time you see a word that you don't understand, you look it up. You have to learn translation. You have to learn transliteration. Remember again, you're reading a translation that was created by your enemies. So if you don't do all of this, you'll never come to the knowledge of the truth. The truth only lies in the original text. Then you have to do something else. The new is in the old contained. The old is in the new explained. If you cannot validate what you are reading in the New Testament in the Old Testament, then you dismiss it. Do you understand me? Because it's a fabrication. The book is perfect. It is flawless, but only in its original text. You cannot check the original text of the New Testament because there is none. The only text that we have is the Greek. Then here's something else. Context is the key. You cannot take one scripture and take it out of context and expect that you're going to come to the knowledge of what it means. No. You have to find out exactly what the author was trying to convey to you. Let's begin. Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 9 to 10. Now this is the passage that the man put on the comment board when he was taunting us, saying that we're stupid or something. He said David is going to be your king, and it's clear. Let's see how clear it really is. Verse 9. But they shall serve Yahuwah their Eluah, their mighty one. Who is this they? And they is a pronoun. It describes a person, place, or thing. They is also plural. He's talking about the children of Yasharal. They're going to return and serve Yahuwah, their mighty one, and David, their king. Look at the last part. Whom I will raise up unto them. Sound familiar to you academics on Yah's channel? It should. In Deuteronomy, what did the Most High say? I will raise up unto them a prophet like unto you, Moses. Unto them, unto him, you shall listen. So it's talking about someone who's going to come down the line. Is it King David? Is he going to be resurrected? Or are we talking about seed, bloodline, DNA? Verse 10, here's another problem. We have people who are one-verse wonders. They do not read context. And context will give you more or less of an answer. Verse 10, therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahuwah, neither be dismayed, O Yasharal, for lo, I, Yahuwah, will save thee from afar and thy seed from the land of their captivity. Jacob is dead. He's in the grave. How is he going to save Jacob from afar? He's talking about seed, bloodline, DNA. Did you know that the seed that comes from Jacob, Yasharal's loins, is Jacob? And Jacob shall return, his seed, and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Yasharal received a covenant from Yah, that his seed would inherit the land, that his seed would be the chosen ones. David received a covenant from Yah, that his seed would sit upon the throne forever. David's seed, the male children, are David. Yasharal's seed, the male children, are Yasharal. Ezekiel chapter 34, verses 23 to 24. Verse 23. And I, who's this I? Yahuwah, will set up one shepherd over them. We need to stop for 1 second. Let's deal with some family business. How many shepherds do you have? How many teachers do you have? If you have more than one, you got it wrong. The Father will only send you one shepherd at a time. Do you understand that? If the Father brought you here to this channel, why are you going to other channels to glean from those who are calling on Jesus? They're not keeping the lunar Sabbath. They're keeping the Sabbath on Pope Gregory's calendar. They're calling on Jesus and the Christ and Jehovah and Lord and God. But yet you're going to glean from them. We have grown out of those things on this channel. It no longer exists in our speech anymore. Why do you turn back to go to eat out of the garbage can? Let's read this again. Verse 23. And I will set up one shepherd over them. Who's this them? Only the children of Yasharal. There's no one else mentioned in the whole Bible. So if you believe that you're not one of the children of Yasharal, there's no salvation for you. And he shall feed them. The shepherd's going to feed the children of Yasharal. Even, that word even means indeed, my servant, David. He shall feed them. And he shall be their shepherd. Seems like David's going to be the shepherd. And he's going to feed the flock. So first we have David being the king. Now we have him being the shepherd that shall feed the flock. Let's go to 24. Here's the answer. And I, Yahuwah, will be their mighty one, and my servant David, a prince among them. I, Yahuwah, have spoken it. How many of you see it? All of my scholars who are on this channel. If you identified that prince part, you're on the right track. Has David been demoted? Because, in Jeremiah, he was a king. But here in Ezekiel, he's a shepherd. Then he's a prince. Let me ask you a question. Where does the prince come from? A prince comes from the loins of the king. So this passage is pointing out to you that this prince is going to be the seed, the bloodline, the nuclear DNA of King David. Who spoke this? I, Yahuwah, have spoken it. Now let's prove it. 2 Samuel chapter 7, verses 12 to 17. Verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, O King David, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I, Yahuwah, will set up, he's going to raise up thy seed after thee. which shall proceed out of thy bowels. Is he going to come from the heavens? Is he going to come from the loins of men? And I, Yahuwah, will establish his kingdom. So the Father is the one who's going to establish this kingdom forever. But listen, when David dies, and he goes and sleeps with the patriarchs, the Father made a covenant with David that his seed after him is going to come out of his loins, is going to establish his kingdom. 13. He shall build a house for my name. That's Solomon. And I, Yahuwah, will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Did he say he's going to establish Solomon forever? No, it's clear. The throne is going to be established of his kingdom, which is, in our reality, David's kingdom, forever. Verse 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he mess up and he commits iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Verse 15. But mercy presupposes guilt. Do you guys understand that? The person who receives mercy is guilty. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, even though he messed up. As I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee, Yahuwah put the line of Saul away. Seed, bloodline. Because according to custom and right, if Saul was the king, then any seed that came after him, that came from his loins, would have a right to the throne. But Yahuwah destroyed all the seed of Saul. Did you know that? Go check it out. Verse 16. And thine house. Who's he speaking to now? Speaking to King David. And your house, King David, and your kingdom, King David, shall be established forever before thee. How is he going to do that? Seed, bloodline, generations. Thy throne shall be established forever. Verse 17. According to all these words and according to all the vision, so did Netanyahu speak unto David. Psalms 89 verses 1 to 4. Verse 1. I will sing of the mercies of Yahuwah forever. With my mouth will I make known thy faithfulness to all generations. How do we know this today? Because he wrote it in the book. Verse 2. Look at this prophetic word from King David. For I have said, mercy shall be built up forever. Thy faithfulness, O Yahuwah, shall thou establish in the very heavens. Yahuwah is going to establish his faithfulness in the heavens. What faithfulness? Mercy. On earth, in the tabernacle, where was the mercy seat? Between the two cherubims on the Ark of the Covenant, inside of the Holy of Holies. In the heavens, where is the mercy seat? Between the cherubim in the heavenly realms. And who is seated upon that throne? Yahuwah. Who is in the heavens right now, making continual intercession on your behalf. Yahusha. He is your high priest. Only he can go into the Holy of Holies and bring your sacrifices, your prayers, and your worship before Yahuwah. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by him, your high priest. Verse 3, I have made a covenant with my chosen. Yahuwah speaking. I have sworn unto David, my servant. Look what he swore. Verse 4, thy seed will I establish forever, and build up thy throne to all generations. From generation to generation to generation, all the way down to Yahusha. The last person that we can even say is from the line of David. Selah. Think about that. Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 to 7. How are we doing here? You see, it's not just cut and dried like they're trying to say. Verse 6. For unto us a child is born. Is that King David? I mean, is King David being born here in the book of Isaiah? No. David is sleeping with his fathers right now. Unto us a son is given. Is it King David? Was he resurrected from the grave? No. This has to do with seed. And the government shall be upon his shoulders. He shall be the ruler in Yasharal. And his name, let me say it again, and his name, not him, his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty One, that's the Eluah, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Hey, is Yahushua the Everlasting Father? No. That's why I told you. His name shall be called all of these wonderful things. What did Yahushua say? I have come in my Father's name, and you don't even receive me. But this other guy is going to come in his own name. Jesus, who is the Christ, him you will receive. Let me tell you something right now. Jesus and the Christ does not mean anything that you see here. We've broken it down. And the only thing it could mean is earth pig or earth horse. But look at the last one, the Prince of Peace. Remember it says David a prince among them? Well, here's this prince that's going to come. His name is Yahusha. He came in his Father's name. What does it mean? Yahuwah is salvation. Isn't that perfect? Why do you think he says that anything you ask the Father for in my name, he will give it to you? Because when you use Yahusha, you have shown your allegiance to Yahuwah. What does it mean again? Yahuwah is salvation. Verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. This is going to be forever. Upon the throne of David. Oh. Who's going to sit upon the throne of David? The child is born. The son that's given. the one who's going to control the government, the one who has the name that reflects the Heavenly Father, Yahusha, and upon his kingdom. Whose kingdom? The kingdom has been transferred to Yahusha to order it and to establish it with judgment. Judgment will not leave the kingdom. If you violate the law, you will pay the consequences of the law. That's why it says, and with justice, from henceforth, indeed, forever. The zeal of Yahuwah of hosts will perform this. So it's clear now. David is not going to be the king that's going to come. Revelation chapter 5, verses 1 to 5. Revelation means the unveiling. Verse 1. Let's unveil the king to come. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. Verse 2. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? Verse 3. And no man in heaven. Are we looking for an angel in heaven? Are we looking for a demigod in heaven? No, you are looking for a man, one who was born by the will of man, one who is seed. So you mean to tell me no man in heaven was able to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? What about Hanuk? He's in heaven. He's a righteous man. He doesn't qualify? What about the 24 elders? They made it into the heavenly realms. They're seated around the throne. You mean to tell me they didn't qualify? Let's continue. Nor in earth. There's a few million of us here. The children of Yasharal on this planet. Out of all of those millions, not one qualified? Let's continue. Neither under the earth. Hey, the patriarchs are in the grave. Didn't the book say that when David goes to sleep with his fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the way down to King David, hey, none of them qualified to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? Let's start reading from the beginning, now that you understand. And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book. Look, they could not even look upon it. 4. And I, Yehonathan, I begin to cry, because no man, not an angel, not a demigod, one who was born by the will of man, one who came out of the bowels of a man, was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Verse 5. And one of the elders said unto me, look, one of the 24 elders is speaking to Jehonathan. Don't cry. Dry your eye. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah. How many of you know who holds that title? The Root of David. What does root mean? DNA. Nuclear DNA. Y chromosome. DNA. Seed. Bloodline that's come down from generation to generation to generation, have prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Whoever is able to do this is your king. And there is only one. It's not David. I just told you. He's the seed of David. But he's from the tribe of Yehudah. He is the lion that's coming back to take vengeance on all of his fathers, his and our enemies. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. While Yahusha was here, he was a prophet. He only spoke the oracles of Yahuwah. When he ascended into heaven, he became our priest. There was amendment to the law. The priesthood was transferred from Lauyah, which is Levi, to Yehudah, which is what you know as the tribe of Judah, to Yahusha. And he is the high priest that is in heavenly realms, making continual intercession on your behalf, because you at this point would be in the lands of your captivity, and your Father has shown you mercy even in the heavens. And when he returns, after he destroys our enemies, he's going to become the king of Yasharal. Shalom.